Okay, hello everyone and welcome to the cardboard box item. You might be noticing that my audio sounds completely perfect with no lags whatsoever because the biggest news ever, I got new internet and finally, I will not be dropping out of
I'd love if you
conversation.
just cut out.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
That would have been amazing, would be amazing. I'm joined here in the virtual studio by Michael and Sean. And we're here to talk about video games, right?
Something for a change this week, I think. Mix it up a bit.
Why not?
I thought
Why
it
not?
was
And,
cardboard boxes we talk about. Shit. Okay. My prep has just gone down the
so
toilet.
many mistakes. My boy, a box. Okay, so I'm going to throw it over to Sean. We're going to get right stuck into it. Sean, what is the first game that you've been playing in the merry month of our Lord, September?
Yes.
That was a weird way to say that. I don't know why I said that. Sorry.
The first game I have been playing is a little game called Hurdling. I hope that's the one I loaded up. Yes, it is.
Hurdling.
Yeah, so this just came out a few weeks ago. It's by Okomotive, who are the studio behind Far Lone Sales and Changing Tides.
Oh, you love those, yeah.
Yeah, so it's their new game. Very different vibe, I guess. Well, it's still a kind of like a relaxing, chilled game. But there's no like management element to it like there was in those games. It's also a completely different perspective. It's like it's very linear, but it gives off the impression of like an semi-open world game. It's third person as well. And the whole idea behind it is you're this kid who wakes up and you find these creatures outside called completely after forgetting the name of them now.
That's all good.
Cows.
They're kind of like
Do they go moo?
no, they do. They're kind of like meant to be like mountain goats, I guess.
Okay.
What are they called? That's great. You Google it and it doesn't say. That's brilliant.
AI gives you. They're called cows.
Hurdling.
Oh, calicorns. That's what they're called.
Can I just say,
yes.
when you said it was called hurdling, I thought you meant like, jumping over hurdles, like hurdling.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah, it's with an E, not a U. But anyway, so yeah, the whole idea behind the game is you're kind of rescuing these calicorns from, like, a lot of the ones you come across, they've been like injured or hurt. There's no other people in the game. Like, the story is very what's the word, ambiguous as to what's going on, but you're just collecting the main thing is at the start of the game they're in the city for some reason and you're like, well, you're not supposed to be here, back to the mountain with you. So you're basically you're herding these calicorns back to the mountain, and you come across others as you go, and there are some like dangers, like you've probably seen the footage. There's like these giant birds who will try and attack them from time to time. And there's also like harsh weather environments, like really strong winds up in the mountains that you have to navigate and things like that. And yeah, it's a pretty short experience. I think it was about 4 or 5 hours max. It's the kind of game though, it's just really chill. It's just something to
has that vibe, all right.
Yeah, just something to throw on in between those Battlefield sessions. To take the edge off of it.
To come down.
Yeah, just a really relaxing game. I don't really have too much more to say on it.
This is giving me really strong, like, early 2000s vibes. I'm not sure what it is exactly. Yeah. It's kind of reminding me. Do you know that game, Black and White?
Yes,
that Phil Spencer did.
Yeah,
it's kind of reminding me of that for some reason, but I don't know. There's also, I remember there was another game called Hurdy-Gurdy.
I was about to say Hurdy-Gurdy. Yeah, PS2. Yeah. That seemed way more stressful of a game, though, because you're like sheep that didn't want to go in and you had to get them into a pen, that sort of thing.
Sounds fun.
But yeah, this has got kind of a journey vibe to it. So
yeah, it's definitely that kind of a game. Or there must be some kind of a subgenre name for that kind of a game, but I don't know what you call it.
Strand
kind of cozy meditative
game. Cozy meditative, I guess. Yeah, I mean, like, it is still a bit involved, like. To herd the calicorns, you have to be behind them, obviously, but the way you steer them is a bit kind of awkward. Like, it's not like anything else. So that kind of, and they can easily, like, if you're in an area where there's hazards, they'll easily just walk straight into the hazard. So you have to be careful how you control them and like maneuver them around. But
sounds annoying.
No, it is very fun. Those parts don't come too often. But yeah.
Michael, you're a scamp.
Yeah, I know. But hey, it's a game I never heard of.
If you're looking
sounds
for
interesting.
if you're just looking for something chill and a short experience, it's worth the look.
Cool.
It looks nice.
Steve, I'm going to throw it over to you for your first game.
Okay, so all the games I've been playing this month have been very retro. This is probably the least retro, which will give you an idea. First game I played this month was The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD edition.
Classic.
This I asked Michael to bring this game to me over Christmas because I had a hankering to play this and the Twilight Princess, which I discovered for some bizarre reason the Twilight Princess version is all in Japanese, even though I bought it in Ireland. But the Wii U I have is Japanese, so it converts it to Japanese.
Oh, no way.
Which is really frustrating. But for some reason, Wind Waker wasn't. But yeah, so first of all, Michael, I know you're familiar with this. You were watching me play the original version of this back in the day, like usually when I was playing it. Sean, how well do you know this game? Or how much do you know about it?
I just know it exists. That's kind of my level of knowledge on it.
Yeah, well, okay, so here's the thing with Wind Waker. I am not like the biggest proponent of this game. Like, I don't think it's like as amazing as so many people think it is. I think it's great. I do think it is a fantastically made game, but like it's one of my least favorite 3D Zelda games because it has some really annoying mechanics that lots of people tend to just gloss over and like say, oh, no, but that's just part of the game. It's fine. You know, the rest of the game is great. It's like, yeah, the rest of the game is great, but there's lots of annoying stuff you have to do. I want to tell you the bit that annoys me more than any part of this entire game so badly, right? Usually Zelda games are split into two. You've got like the start of the game where the dungeons are kind of easy and then an event happens and then it goes into the more difficult part of the game. In this game, before you get to the more difficult part, you're told where the dungeons are and how to get to them. But for both dungeons, you need a special item. And the hint you are given about where to find that item is, oh, you need a special item. It's somewhere in the world. That's the only hint you are given.
Well, what more do you want, man? Do you want them to put a flashing light on it or something? Jesus, like, come on. Grow up.
It annoys me so much. And I feel like nobody else gets annoyed about this to the extent that I remember playing this the first time and being so infuriated by the fact that there is so little direction given about where to find these things. And I was just as mad about it this time around because I was like, how are you supposed to figure this out without a guide? I just feel like it's impossible. Now, having said that, like, there's a lot to love about the game. As you know, for people looking on YouTube, like, it's absolutely gorgeous. Still looks amazing.
Yeah, it aged so well as well. Like, it still looks really good. That sea like looks amazing, and like the little stylistic flourishes of the little triangles for the waves, the white triangles. Like,
it's a timeless graphic style.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah. Like, people hated it at the time because they wanted like a gritty, like realistic looking Zelda, but I think time has, you know, stood.
Served it well.
Yeah, I think they've backtracked on that now. I think most people are kind of like, okay, we clearly didn't know what we wanted. That's fine. But in that backtracking, I think they've covered, like, kind of just like completely ignored all the issues that the game has.
Yeah.
A lot of people talk about, you know, anyone who's played the game probably knows that I'm going to bring up the Triforce quest at the end of the game, which is really obviously just filler. You just have to search the sea for fragments of the Triforce, and it's tedious, pretty boring, doesn't really give you much guidance on where to go, where to look. So the HD re-release definitely goes to some ways to fixing that. It makes it much shorter and, you know, handier, but yeah, it still has its issues. Like, I think this is a solid 4 out of 5 game. You know, that's it's good. There's like some of the ways that it's designed like absolutely floored me because of the amount of video game design videos I've been watching recently. I'm kind of more aware of stuff they do, and it's really, really designed up the butt. Like, it's crazily well designed. That's a term, right?
Yeah,
that's a term. Now. Yeah, but yeah, no, I liked it, but I feel like I have to clarify that, like, this has issues. This game has big issues that you do kind of have to get past to enjoy it.
Yeah,
But,
fair.
Yeah,
great looking game though.
It is. It's lovely. Okay, so I'm going to pass it back to Sean because he has another game he wants to talk to before
Cool.
we move on.
So the next game I played, another kind of meditative, relaxing game actually. It's called Wheel World. Wheel World.
Wheel
World, yeah.
Oh, as in like the real world?
Back?
yeah. That's fucking weird to say it again. So yeah, this is basically a cycling game. It's like an open world cycling game, and that's kind of all I have to say about it. But it's basically the story in it is a bit whatever. I think the idea is your bike is possessed by a spirit, and you're trying to win, beat all these like kind of boss races to get magic bike parts back to fix the world or something crazy like that. I didn't really pay too much attention to the story, as you can tell. But the overall gameplay is exploring the world and finding other groups of cyclists to race against in all different environments, like road cyclists, mountain biking, like BMX, loads of different disciplines, and collecting different bike parts to upgrade your bike as you go. So it's not very like in depth. It's not like Riders Republic levels of gear you can get and stuff, but it's just a pretty fun, like chilled out cycling game. And I do love, like, I cycle home from work and I immediately get into a video game about cycling, and it's like, man, what? Like, this is what I want.
You've got pictures of naked bicycles on your wall and shit like that.
Yeah, just like frames completely, no cabling or anything.
God, that's dirty, man. The racing looks cool, actually, from the footage.
Yeah.
It looks pretty, like, I don't know how, it's weird that you can tell something probably feels good to play from watching footage, but it looks like it feels good to race in it.
Yeah, no, it totally does. And like the bike parts you get, like, they do change kind of the feel of the bike and everything. Like, you can get tires that are better for off-road. You can get like frames and stuff that are more aerodynamic, which allows you can like drag, or what's the right word, like get into the slipstream of something.
Oh yeah.
And you have a boost meter then as well, where you just pedal faster basically. And so the more aerodynamic your bike is, you'll get more boost from being in somebody's slipstream, things like that. Yeah, no, it's pretty fun game. It was like a decent length as well. I think I put like 12 or 13 hours into it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But that was like doing everything in it as well. Like, you could probably get through it in 7 or 8 hours if you're just doing the main story in it. But there was a point where I had done everything on the map, and then I had to go to what I thought was like the last thing in the game, and it brought me to another map. And there was a load of shit there, and I was like, what? Like, so I've got like another third of the game left basically, which was mad. But I got through that map a lot quicker. There wasn't as many points of interest and stuff. So yeah, it's just another, it was there wasn't like much in the way of a soundtrack actually. Like, in some of the big races, they would have music playing, but other than that, it was just the atmosphere in the environment, which was really good. But it would just be things like, bird song and the sound of the tires on the road and things. So it was a great one if you want to like put on a podcast and just like play for a bit. Like, it was really cool.
I wonder if that's something developers, particularly indie developers, think about, is like, people might want to listen to something else during this. And
possibly,
so many streamers as well will be chatting and might have someone else on with them who they're talking to and stuff like that. So I wonder if they're like, let's pair back to me. Because I think it can be really effective sometimes to not have music in certain places.
when they do introduce music, then you really notice it.
Yeah.
And like, oh, well, and all the songs that they introduced had vocals on them too, which was even more impactful. So yeah, I thought it was really cool. Yeah,
sounds good.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it looks great. It's one of those ones that I like, you're looking at and thinking, okay, I don't think there's any other game like this right now, which is really refreshing considering like the last couple of showcases we've seen that have just been like, hey, here's a Souls-like.
Yeah.
Here's a farming sim, if you're Nintendo. So this looks really unique, which is cool. I noticed there is a frame that is in the shape of a naked man. You use that one a lot?
Yeah, that one kind of threw me a bit when I got it, because there's a load of like weird bikes you can build. Like, you can build like an all wood bike and the frame is a tree trunk, and then you can build a hot dog bike. You can build like a gamer bike where the seat is like a gamer chair, and the handlebars are a PC monitor and stuff. But then, yeah, as Stephen pointed out, there's like the human bike, which is really weird. It's like all made out of human body parts. So like the wheels are like a load of feet.
Oh,
and yeah. It was like when I started collecting those parts, I was like, "What's going? Is this game about to turn into some mad horror fucking thing?"
Man, that would be such a twist. I love that.
Yeah.
Why did I just pick up an ink ribbon? Oh my god.
But yeah, I recommend checking it out if you want a kind of like light arcade racing game with a twist. The twist being you're on a bike, and also a magic bike. And yeah, it's fun, like throw on a podcast and like chill out for a bit. Cool. I'm going to throw it back to Steve for his next game.
Yeah, we're not just leaving Michael out now. He just
don't
has
worry.
one big one he wants to talk about.
He's going to take over the whole podcast, basically.
I got a whopper coming up.
Yeah.
Whopper. Okay, so the next one, this is kind of a cheat because this is 3 games in one, but they're all basically identical, so it's fine. So I was playing the Armored Core trilogy on the PlayStation 1.
Sick. Cool.
For a while.
Nice.
I think a lot of people probably jumped on this after, From Software got really popular. And this was a very niche game at the time. So, it's probably one that I think a few people are going to revisit seeing, okay, well, I like Dark Souls. Let's see what it's like. I can tell you now that this game is very, very well made and absolutely not for me at all.
Yeah.
It's like there was points in the game where I was in like a complete state of zen and I was loving it. I was like, this is great. This feels so good. It actually, for the time it came out, like I think this came out in like 97 or something, which is insane. Like, because it looks really good for like that time, and it feels really good to play. Like, you're quite fast. Like, you've got this like kind of jet booster thing that to like allow you to speed along like at top speeds, and a massive amount of flexibility in how you set up your mech. But that's the problem. There's too much. It is so incredibly overwhelming, and there's a menu screen that is like, have you ever been in one of those restaurants where the menu is about like 27 pages long and you have no idea?
Any Chinese restaurant, basically.
Yeah. And you've okay, I'm only going to go what I think works, but that probably isn't the best thing here. And it feels like that. And they don't tell you, well, I found out afterwards that there's a special button you can press that gives you information, but like, I couldn't figure this out at the time. It doesn't tell you what each item does or if it's better or worse or anything. So you've got like 3 cores, 3 heads, 3 generators, like at the very start of the game, and you don't know the difference between any of them. So it's and if this was the only game I had back in the day when I had a PS1, I am certain I would obsess over it and would love it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's just aside from the fact that it's really overwhelming, it is, and this is probably a big shocker for anyone who knows anything from Software, really, really hard. So I was playing this on the PS5 because it got released as part of the Classics thing. And you know how on that you've got the ability to like rewind in the game if you make a mistake? Even with the rewind ability, I couldn't beat a level.
Yeah, I've heard it's hard as nails. Just because Sean was confused, in certain old classic PS5 releases of old games, you can pause the game and rewind, so you can go back to the beginning of a.
I thought, because when Steve, I thought you meant like any game on the PS5, but like
no,
well, just classics. Yeah, I mean that would be really weird if it was any.
And not all the classics, only certain games have it, I think.
Right.
But it's that. But yeah, I remember watching when the new Armored Core came out. There was a load of Dark Souls YouTubers went back and played the old Armored Cores, and they're like, "This is fucking hard. I have no idea what's happening." They also said, I don't know if you found it, Steve, that the control system is quite unusual in it.
It is unusual, But it's just one of those ones you have to learn. I don't think it's a bad control system. I think it actually controls very, very well, but it's complicated. So it takes a while to get your head around it. You've got a lot of control. Like one thing you have to be able to do, and I just do not have the patience for it, you have to be able to use your boost really conservatively, like sideways, and just know when to be going fast and when to be going slow. And it's very, very intense. But the main issue that I have, and this is something that Souls games kind of rectified this, but it reminded me a bit of Ninja Gaiden, actually, of all things. You have a set amount of health, and there is no way to regain health in a level.
Okay.
So, if you get hit, that's it. Your health is immediately down. You can't regain it until the level is finished. And man, it's so unforgiving, because if you loot... So basically the point of the levels is you're basically doing it to get paid. You're a mercenary, right? So you want to get paid so you can afford better parts to be better at the game. But the thing is, if you damage stuff, break stuff, or damage yourself, you get charged money. So it comes out of your pay at the end. God. The very first level I played, I lost.
Capitalism, man. Fucking injecting it into everything we love.
It's insane. Like the very first level I played, I came out of it with like minus $20,000 or something like. And I was like, I had some money at the start, but now it's like you can see it like just oh my God, it's just one of those games that I'm sure I would love this if I had played it at the right time, but now no, I'm sorry.
Sorry, Steve. Is the money thing a thing in all the Armored Core games, or was it just in that first one?
I played the first three, and again, I can't emphasize enough, the first three are basically identical. I could barely tell a difference between the three of them. And in all of those, at least, it was all like the whole point of the game is you're taking on contracts, you're buying, like getting money, buying new parts so that you can do better contracts. There is kind of a storyline in the background, but it doesn't really matter.
Right,
it's just I
think the new ones are like that as well. I think it's all mission based, and as far as I know, it is all about just getting better gear and stuff.
Right, so it's like a grind kind of in that sense.
Maybe it's more about, from what I know, is optimizing your play as much as possible to make it through the missions with like the least amount of damage, basically.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And it's like, it is cool that like you can completely change your play style. Like you can make sure that you're a really slow but absolute tank who can take a ton of damage, or you can go the opposite, make yourself a glass cannon who's really, really fast and good at dodging. So it is pretty cool that exists in a PS1 game, because that's not really, wouldn't really have been common at that time. So I can appreciate it for what it is, but it's not for me. I'm not sure if you don't have any patience for old games, retro games, and I know some people on this podcast absolutely don't. I would say that
both of us probably, yeah.
That's definitely directed at me.
I was actually directing it at both of you.
Man, Ridge Racer.
I'm fairly.
I love that shit.
Well, man, Ridge Racer is a classic. I don't. I think you guys would appreciate it to play and see like this is really well designed. I'm never going to play it again because that's pretty much how I reacted to it. So yeah,
I'm sold.
That's the Armored Core trilogy for the PS1. Very interesting game. Not one I would ever want to revisit again, probably.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry. So now here's the big one. Here's the one we're all dying to hear about. Michael, how the hell is Cooking Mama 3 going for you?
Before we go into that, sorry, was it General or the other one?
General for the moment, okay. So I got multi-parts here. This thing's got layers. Cooking Mama 3 is too difficult for me, so I'm not going to play it. Fair. What I have been playing is Silk Song. So the guys know Hollow Knight, one of my favorite games of all time, got me into the Metroidvania genre. So I was quite excited about Silk Song, obviously, and got it day one. So the headline is it's sick. It is amazing. It's really, really good. If I had a tier list of Metroidvanias I've played, it would be on the A+++ tier.
Not S.
Oh wow.
Not on the S tier. S tier for me is Hollow Knight and Super Metroid. I think those are the very, very like pinnacle of those genres and games. I'd put it like slightly above other amazing ones like Blasphemous and the new Prince of Persia one that came out, both of which are amazing games. But this one, now I haven't finished it, just to be clear, but I have put 30 hours in so far.
Wow.
So, and I've no idea where I am in terms of the finish. So,
I think I heard it's about 40 hours long.
I'm doing a lot of side stuff as well. Nearly all of it that I can, but yeah, it's quite a big game. One thing I'll say, first of all, is I really admire, like, on a surface level, it seems like just more Hollow Knight, but they have changed up a lot of things. And one of the main things they've changed up is the vibe.
Really?
And, like, maybe this might be something, like, because I'm just so in the pocket for Hollow Knight, and I played Hollow Knight again just before this came out, that Hollow Knight has a very somber atmosphere. It's very quiet, and it's a world that's dead, and it's got a very sad sort of vibe to it. Silksong can sometimes touch on that, but it's much more of a thriving world, and it's subtle things that make it different. Like, one thing is the use of music. It's way more in the background in this game at certain areas. It's still amazing at times, but it sounds quite different to Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight used piano as a primary instrument, and like violas and violins, very minimalist, and like one of my favorite soundtracks. This expands on that a bit and has different textures, but oftentimes in a level you'll be hearing the ambient sound design a lot more than the score, and it's more like underscore. And I really like it because it gives a different vibe to the environments. It's massive as well, the entire game. Sorry, go ahead, Steve.
I'd say probably a big thing that would affect that is the fact that doesn't Hornet, she talks in this one as well. Like,
she does.
Probably,
yeah, that's a difference.
That probably changes like how, because like with your man in Hollow Knight, whatever, did he have a name? Let's just call him.
He's not Hollow Knight. There's a different character. I can't remember. I think people just call him the Knight sometimes.
Okay, but like, because he didn't say anything, like, you know, it was, you're just kind of taking in the world, and that kind of complemented that somber tone. But the fact that she talks, and if I remember rightly, like in Hollow Knight at least, she was a little bit snarky and like very proud. So that would probably, inevitably change the tone a little bit. So
that's 100% true. She has her own personality, and she has like opinions on things as well. Hollow Knight was more about like, it's sort of,
you can't say that so accusingly to her just because she's a girl. Okay, she's allowed to have opinions.
Do you know what they touch on that as well, is like the fact that she is female in this world as well. Yeah, it's not, I wouldn't say it's one of the central themes of it. The central theme would be I guess a religious hierarchy in a world, and the sort of effects it has, the detrimental effects it has on what's it called, Farloom is the name of the world in this one, whereas Hollow Knight was more about like the hubris of those in power, which, you know, is sort of touched on in this, but it feels differently thematically as well. It has like a lot of it has a very different movement style as well. Hornet's a lot more agile than the Knight was, and the game reflects that as well. And I'll talk about the difficulty in a second. And
I want to hear about that.
And it and so you've a lot more movement options available to you, especially after you get some upgrades. And they sort of change up the battle system as well in terms of what sort of attachments you can use. And there's like a ton of options. There's a lot of different play styles that you can bring into it. But I'm loving the atmosphere, loving the levels. The reason Hollow Knight just hits a bit harder for me is I prefer the vibe of that. It's a different vibe, and I respect them for going in a slightly different direction. There's something like, I went back and played a little bit of Hollow Knight just before this podcast, and I was like, yeah, there is something about this, the mood, the music coming together, the sort of sparseness of it that I prefer personally. But it's still amazing in this game as well. And the level of design, the way everything links back on each other, the shortcuts, the unexpected new areas that you uncover just by breaking down a wall, all of that is still like top tier. Like, there's nobody that does it better. And I have to say, it does feel like a game that took 7 years to make. Like, it's jam-packed with details. There's one bit where you fight an optional mini boss, right? I'll only put footage and spoilers for Act 1 in this, by the way. You fight a mini boss, and like he's fairly tough, whatever. You defeat him, and then at a like seemingly random point when you go back to one of your sort of hub areas, all of a sudden the mate of that boss bursts through the level and destroys like a ton of the infrastructure and kills some characters that you had been talking to. It seems like a random event, and it's full of these little details that makes the world feel more alive. So yeah, like excellent game. I'm showing footage from an early part of the game that people had a lot of difficulty with, and you can see like the enemies are a lot more complex, and you have these this guy's making it look easy, but these very tricky platforming sections as well. And this is just the tip of the iceberg for that stuff. It gets ridiculous with some of the platforming stuff. I'm a sicko who loves that shit. Like I love the platforming challenges in Hollow Knight, and they really integrate them really well into the levels in this. So the difficulty.
So how many times have you died? Do you know?
I would love to know. Not like, well, headline for me is I like the difficulty in the game. It is really, really hard. It's maybe the hardest game I've played.
Really?
It's definitely harder than Hollow Knight anyway. A couple of things are skewing people's view of it because there's been a lot of discourse around it. Part of it could be a lot of new players coming in who hadn't played Hollow Knight. And also, it starts a lot harder than Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight does gently let you into its world, especially if you're like somewhat familiar with Metroidvanias or even Souls games. You'll like sort of get like, oh, I've died to this boss, but I need to learn its patterns, etc. Hollow Knight or Silksong's pretty unforgiving. You've got a section here which they do a lot is they lock you in a room and throw a wave of enemies at you. So just killed one, then another one comes in, etc. Those are really hard, but they're so much fucking fun. And one thing I love about the difficulty in this game is you can feel the developer having fun with you with it and like upending your expectations. So an example is I've gotten to an area recently where it has another one of these rooms where they throw waves of enemies at you, right? And normally, like, it's insane. 3 or 4 waves of enemies and then maybe a mini boss at the end. Sometimes they have it, sometimes not. So I was doing one of these rooms and I got through 4 waves of enemies and then the mini boss came down and I barely beat him. And I was like, yes. Then it sent another wave of enemies at me. And I was like, oh, that's cheeky. No. Yeah, you knew I thought it was over, so you threw another one at me. So I somehow made it through that wave. Then it threw another wave of enemies at me afterwards.
Oh, my God.
And I died and I just laughed. I was just like, that is so cheeky, you fuckers. And they're doing that sort of stuff all the time. There's a notorious part of the game, this section actually, where, you know, that looks quite difficult to get through all those platforming sections, etc. And eventually you get to a bench. A bench is basically your save point where you can like re-heal. This bench is booby-trapped, so when you sit down on it, a massive spike comes down from the ceiling. And it caught me as well, but I didn't die, luckily. And the game is always forcing you to question your environment and explore other options. So in that room with the bench, you can find a mechanism to disable the booby trap. So you can sit and save and get back your soul or your health, etc. The only time it annoyed me was a technical glitch. So Sean, do you want to throw on the other clip? I told you guys about it, but I came back one time after defeating the last boss of Act 1, which is called The Last Judge. And my save file had reverted to before the boss. And I was so annoyed. Like because I'd gone further, I'd played another 5 hours since then. So I'd lost a load of progress. But this is my footage of me when I met the boss the first time. And this is the second phase of the boss, by the way. So she's really tough. But do you know what? I went back and after I'd calmed down, like I stopped playing that day and maybe the next day or the day after, I was like, I know I can defeat that boss now. It might have taken me 10 goes, but like the first time. And then I went back and I think in 2 goes I defeated the boss and it felt great. Like it felt really good. That's just a technical glitch. Like I can't... I think it might be the PlayStation's fault more than Team Cherry's fault, if I'm being generous. I actually don't know what happened. But this This boss has a notorious run back as well. Do both you know what I mean by a run back?
This is like when you die and you have to try and get back to the boss battle, right?
Yeah, exactly. This one has a very difficult section in the run back that has lots of tricky platforming in it. People complained about it, but there's actually like a shortcut you can take that still has some tricky stuff in it, but it takes like 30 seconds maybe to get back. So I will say some of the difficulty stuff that they've talked about is a little unfounded because Team Cherry does give you options. And one thing I love is that I'm stuck on a few bosses currently in the game, but I've other areas I can explore. I've other options. If I'm stuck on one, I can take a break and go and play another. Last thing I'll say, unless like you have any questions, is one mechanic that I don't love and it ties into difficulty is, so you'll see me throwing out traps and stuff during this boss fight. Those are tied to a consumable that you pick up from enemies. So every time you rest at a bench, you refill your ammo essentially for your extra tools that you can use for traps and stuff like that. But that's like a limited resource. So if you run out of it, you have to go farm for the resource in order to replenish your stock. It reminds me a bit of the blood vials from Bloodborne.
I was about to say, yeah, it sounds like that, yeah.
Now, the thing is, I don't hate that because what's nice is to have a bit of mindless downtime sometimes between bosses to just go and chill and farm enemies for like 15 minutes is actually sort of nice. But I know that's very much a me thing. And as a game mechanic, it disincentivizes you to have another go at the boss, and it can sometimes like ice you. By ice you, I mean like, oh, you've started to get into a rhythm with the boss, and then you have to stop fighting it and go and farm for a bit. So that would be the only thing I would change. Like I'm loving it. I think it's amazing. I don't know if it gets really a lot more difficult, I might hit a wall. But at the moment, I just defeated another really hard boss last night, and it's still. Do you know? Here's the quintessential thing. When I defeat a really hard boss, it's not like, oh, thank God. It's more like, yes, nailed him. I fucking feel great. It's not a sense of relief. It's more a sense of accomplishment, I would say. So yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. I'm going to try and 100% it as much as I can, but knowing these games, the optional stuff at the end is always ridiculous. So I'll have to see how I get on with that. But yeah, I love it.
Game of the Year contender, do you think?
No, it's too abrasive. It's too difficult. I think Expedition 33 is going to win the Game Awards.
But even a contender, like, do you think it would be in the list?
I think it would get nominated. I think it's too good to deny, to be honest. Like, and I think the hype around it as well. Like, I think it's so brave as well that they could have made just a Hollow Knight clone. And like I was saying, on the surface, it might seem that way to people, but it really isn't. And the difficulty is one of those things. They were like, we want this to be a difficult experience for people. We want them to feel like the run back to this boss that's on the screen right now is meant to feel like you're climbing a mountain. Like this is the top of a mountain that pilgrims have been trying to go up and have been beaten down and killed for so many years. So thematically, all this stuff really works. So I think they're brave for doing that, and I think it deserves to be mentioned in the conversation about best games, really.
Cool.
I heard one thing that I just wanted to ask you. I heard a lot of people complaining about the fact that some enemies take 2 bits of health off you instead of 1.
Yeah.
And that's an issue a lot of people had. They were like, that's just being difficult for the sake of being difficult. And they were like, it's fairly unfair. Did you feel any of that at all? Or?
No, like what I'll say is there might be some people forgetting that at times in Hollow Knight, you do come up to regular enemies who take 2 damage. I think what that's tied into is at the beginning of the game, you don't get a lot of upgrades easily. You have to really search for them. So maybe like the start of the game is a lot tougher than the start of Hollow Knight. The thing I have a little more of an issue is that environmental damage. So if you fall in spikes, that does double damage as well. And that can be frustrating when you're getting back to a boss and you're like, well, I'm going to go in with like 2 spots of health gone. But again, like it's the design of the game. Like it's a very deliberate thing. They knew what they were doing. Like I think it's quite well balanced overall. And yeah, I just hope I can get to the end of it, really, which is a weird thing to say about a game, but I'm absolutely loving it, I have to say.
Sick, man.
Oh, cool. Well, sure. Let us know anyway when you finish it. See how it went.
It might be the only game I've played next month. As well. You know what I mean? I don't know.
That's fine. That's fine.
I think I might need like Sean has like those breather games, like a relaxing game just to chill in between sessions of it. But I don't want to lose my reflexes either. But anyway, I'm going to throw it back to Sean for his last game.
Sick. So the last game that I just finished recently, get the footage for it here, is the Medium.
Blooper.
Cool.
Yeah, so
Bloober, sorry.
Bloober, yeah. So yeah, I've had
that was a blooper.
God.
I've had this in my backlog for a while, and I'm really looking forward to checking out Chronos: The New Dawn. That's been getting amazing reviews, their latest game. And I've only played a bit of Layers of Fear before. I never finished it. That's a game I want to go back to too, but I thought I'd give the Medium a go since I had it there, just before I kind of jump into Chronos. And yeah, I really liked this. It's not without its flaws, but it was like a different kind of survival horror experience that I'm very used to, I guess, either first person or the classic Resident Evil 4 third person type of survival horror game. This one's more psychological anyway, rather than survival horror. But it's also a fixed camera angle, which has been a while since I played a game like that. And I don't think I've played like a modern, like recently released game that had a fixed camera angle. And it really works in this. The gameplay in this is definitely more kind of explorative and investigative, rather than there's not really much combat. There's not even really that many enemies, to be honest. There's like one main enemy that is a kind of a nemesis type enemy,
invincible sort of.
Yeah,
enemy,
kind of. It's more like you need to evade them than combat them. The main thing with this game, which you might see flash up on screen, is your character is a medium that can talk to basically people in the afterlife kind of thing, and through that she can kind of almost like split herself between the afterlife and current day. So there's a few moments in the game, not as many as I thought there'd be actually when it first appeared, but it does happen now and again where kind of her reality is split and you control her in both the real world and the afterlife.
Oh, so it's split screen.
It literally splits the screen. And I thought, wow, this is really, the first time it happened, I was like, this is really cool, because like to progress past a gate or something, you need to do something in the afterlife that affects the real world. And I thought that was like a really cool, like that is the core mechanic in the game, I guess. But it's not, you can't split the reality whenever you want. It's at predetermined points in the game.
Yeah.
But you do have this vision, which I can't remember what it's called now. But you basically like hold a button and you can see things that aren't like, you can see things hidden behind walls and stuff. I can't even remember how they explain that, but it's something to do with the split reality thing, whereas like maybe in the afterlife that wall isn't blocked or something, so she can kind of see like items of interest on the other side, that kind of thing. And that can kind of help you like figure out puzzles as you go. The main gameplay is like, yeah, you're trying to figure out puzzles to progress, and then the story, you're uncovering the story as you go as well, just through like letters you find, notes and things like that. And yeah, the idea of the story, it changes a lot as it goes on. Like you're not quite, you're basically following this lead after your father dies. You're following this lead from somebody who is supposedly a medium that gives you a call and is like, I need your help. And you're like, okay, what's going on? So you follow this lead down, and then it leads into like basically this massacre that happened, and you're trying to figure out what happened. And yeah, it's kind of like the story is very like a bit all over the place. Like at certain points through the game, you realize, oh, the person you're chasing, there's actually somebody else that's the bad guy kind of thing. And that
twist.
Yeah, twists, yeah. But that happens a couple of times throughout the story.
So what are the flaws? You said it's not perfect.
Okay, so one thing, the fixed camera angle thing, I thought was cool at first. One thing the one time it really annoyed me though was it does this thing where, and maybe this is a thing in most fixed camera angle games, but when the angle changes, it will
change the direction that you run.
Yes, but what it'll do is it'll try to adjust to the way you're holding. Like I was playing on controller, so it'll try and adjust to the way your analog stick is. But if you don't give it enough time or something, like if you turn the analog too soon, then it gets confused and you go in the wrong direction.
Yeah. Okay.
And the one time that really annoyed me was during the chase sequences, because they were like basically a one-hit kill. Like if the thing catches you, you're done. And there was a few times where I had to go around a corner and then the camera angle changed and I ended up turning around into the wall and it's like, fuck's sake, I'm dead. So that was a little bit of a bugbear, all right. Other than that, I'd say the game could have probably done with some more like some more combat. Really, there was like a little bit of combat at the very end, which was it was so easy. It didn't really need to be there. Like it wasn't even they were basically stationary enemies that you just had to one hit to stop them from hurting you. But other than that, there was no combat, and I thought like the gameplay, I guess, got a bit stale as it went on. You know, you're just doing the same thing. Like the puzzles weren't that complicated either. I think there was one area where I got stuck and wasn't sure where to go. But yeah, then it like hit me. I was like, oh yeah, that's it.
Is it very scary at all? Like, because
No.
most people, I've heard
It's
most
not,
people
no.
say that like it's not particularly scary, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I've played some horror games that aren't scary, but I've still enjoyed a lot, you know. But
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what it's going for. So
Yeah, no, it's not really that. There was a
but I always thought it looked a bit like a point and click.
Oh, sorry. I think there was just a bit of a hang up there, Steve. Sorry.
Oh, nostalgic.
yeah. So sorry. Finish your point.
I was just gonna say, like, when I was looking at trailers and stuff for this, I thought it kind of looked like it kind of looks like a point and click survival horror game in a way. Just the way like the fixed camera is set up and like you have to solve puzzles and that kind of thing. And
yeah, I mean,
which I kind of vibed with, like, but yeah, I can imagine over time might get a bit frustrating, maybe.
Yeah, it probably could have been a point and click game, really. Bar the chase sequences or whatever, I guess. But yeah, no, it was definitely interesting, and I did really like it. As I said, I wish it had changed things up a little bit, maybe later on in the game, like just to introduce new mechanics, maybe a bit of combat and stuff. But the story was very good. The twist kind of kept me playing it and to figure out what was going on. So yeah, I think like they've obviously like people have made a lot of criticisms about the medium and just Bloober in general in their older games. They've obviously come a long way with Silent Hill 2 and now Chronos. But yeah, I think this isn't a bad game. Like it's definitely, I think its Metacritic is in the 70s, and that's exactly where I'd put it. You know, it's like it's worth a playthrough, I think, if you're into psychological horror games. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, wouldn't know anyone to be into those. I have one more question, and then
go for it.
We'll probably move on. But like, I heard some people complain a little bit about the story because, and I'm not going to spoil this because it's a relatively new game, so I'll try and dance around this a little bit and hope you know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
But they kind of accuse Bloober Team of being kind of an apologists for a certain demographic of people, and they've like, do you know what I mean?
I think I know what you're getting at.
Yeah, and they're saying like that's just like that was the thing that kind of ruined it for them. Like, you know, that the game was okay, but once they realize, oh, you're actually like saying, oh, such and such a person is not so bad, and you're like, oh, so or not so bad, but you just like kind of like trying to explain the psychology behind why they would do such and such a terrible thing, and yeah. So, did you pick up on that much, like when you were playing it, or?
That's a good point. Yeah. I mean, I can like explain a bit more without spoiling too much. But Bloober are a Polish studio. It's set in Poland during like Soviet times, I guess. So there's a lot of references to World War II, like the occupation of Poland, and then also post-war, like communist Poland. I didn't. I like. I there's a lot of like literally like you find newspapers and things that mention stuff throughout the game. But yeah, I didn't really think too much of that in the context of the story of the game. But it makes sense now that you're saying it to me.
Well, listen, we won't spoil it because, as I said, it's a new game, and like I again, this was kind of danced around a little bit for me, so I don't 100% know what they're talking about, and I don't want to know yet. I'd rather figure it out for myself. So yeah. But that's no. I'm planning on playing that at some stage as well. So when I do, I'll let you know my thoughts on it as well.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear. Cool. I guess.
Would you like to hear my thoughts on a different game, though?
Yeah, go for it, Steve.
So this is the last game we're going to talk about today, and also it's going to be in a survival horror mint. But this is Dino Crisis. Is a game I was playing recently. Sick. So it's one of those games that, like, you know, it's been around forever, but I just never played. Sean, have you played Dino Crisis?
I haven't actually.
I presume you haven't either, Michael. Yeah.
No, unless I played like a fucking demo or something. I don't think I have. No.
Yeah, well, for anyone, if you haven't heard of Dino Crisis, it's Resident Evil but dinosaurs. That's the
literally that
pitch.
Yeah,
it more or less is. Honestly, there's like not a huge amount of difference between like that and like what you're like be seeing on screen. But there are a couple of subtle differences that I think are worth talking about. First big thing, because the dinosaurs are much more impressive in game than something like the zombies in Resident Evil. Like they're more intelligent. Like their AI is a lot more impressive. Like for a PS1 game, like, you know. But as a result of that, because they can't have as many on screen as much, it means that the game feels quite sparse. You know, Resident Evil, like even the first Resident Evil, you feel like, okay, there's going to be a monster like in every single room. But in Dino Crisis, it's much more spread out and thin in terms of enemies. So that's an interesting choice. Like it feels like I played through the whole game and I pretty much ran from almost every single dinosaur encounter. So it's interesting that a game like Dino Crisis doesn't really feature as many dinos as you would expect. Also, very, very big focus on puzzles this time around, much more so than Resident Evil, which I liked for the most part. The puzzles were fun, but they've got this really, really annoying key card system where you have to like kind of scan people's fingertips in order to get into certain doors. And like the people who you have to scan, they're like scattered all over the place. So there's tons of backtracking and like trying to figure out, okay, whose fingertips can I use to get into where? It's
and what do you have to like scan their hand or something? Like they're dead, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
and you have to scan their hands.
These are all like corpses. There's one or two people who you scan who are alive, but most of them are corpses. And you just have this little device, and you know, in order to figure out whose hand you need to scan, you need to be reading all like the files that are scattered around the place as well. And you can imagine already like how like that it's just not particularly engaging.
Yeah.
So that part of the game falls down a bit, but it's not bad though. One thing I was really thankful for was the voice acting is still really bad.
I was going to ask, great. Actually, yeah, sick.
Yeah, there's I have to tell you my favorite bit. I think it's actually might be coming up on screen, but the very first time you find a body, so there's a guy leaning over and he's going like, "What the hell is this? What's going on?" And the main girl goes up and in this exact same tone of voice goes, "That's disgusting."
Sick.
I just love that. It's like not like, oh my god, it's like that's disgusting. Like you just saw like someone sneezed on her hand or something like that. I don't know. But it's got really good bits. The bits with the T-Rex are best bits basically in the whole game every time. Like he'll burst his head through a window a couple of times, or he'll chase you down a balcony. There's an amazing bit. Spoiler for the end of this game, like if you really care, but the last boss in the game is the T-Rex, and you're trying to get away from him on a speedboat, and he's able to keep up with you on the speedboat. Like he's right behind you the whole time. And I was like, how? And you're looking at it like, how are you moving this fast? It's crazy. It's a bit whack. But yeah, it's not as good as Resident Evil, have to say. I think there's a reason why that was the game that everybody remembers fondly, and this is kind of, not quite up there, but it's decent. Okay.
What do you think about, there's tons of people who want a remake of Dino Crisis. Do you think that's like justified in any way?
I really do, because I think this is a game that would really benefit from a remake. I think it would be a really fun remake. Like, whereas like the Resident Evil games, I personally find it easy enough to go back to those games. And, obviously the remakes were justified, but this game I found a bit more tricky, and it would definitely benefit from a good remake.
Okay.
So yeah, no, I think it would be. And like, there's been rumors about that for years now, so it probably will come eventually. Capcom will do anything to avoid remaking Resident Evil 5, so I say this will probably be the next one they bring up.
Dinosaurs are an unproblematic enemy to have in your survival horror game.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, if you like, it's just one of those ones that's famous enough that if you, this is the bit, hang on, you can probably see online. Is she gonna say it? You can't hear it, but you can see the dialogue at least. Wait for it. That's disgusting. Okay, there's no subtitles, sorry. Anyway, so yeah, Dino Crisis, that was, decent, bit of a laugh.
Sick.
Shall we move on to the news of the day?
Yeah, I guess so. What is the news?
Well, we've got a couple of things we can talk about. We're going to wrap up in 20 minutes or so. So there's been the Switch Direct.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever the fuck they call it. And to be honest, just from me on that, there wasn't too much I was excited about. Metroid Prime 4 got a trailer, unless I'm mixing it up with a different Direct.
Samus has a motorbike now.
Like, I saw a lot of people complain about the sections look whack and the open world looks really barren, but I'm just like, Samus on a motorbike, sick. Okay, cool. Yeah, sign me up. Yeah.
That's kind of my reaction as well. Like, I'm not amazing, but I'm like, that looks like a good call. Go for it.
Yeah, and anything to change up the formula, because the other trailers I've seen for Prime look very it looks exactly like the first game, but with shinier graphics.
Yeah.
So, and
underwhelming.
I want them to try something new with it, at least, even if they are staying in the first person viewpoint. But this is cool. There could be new sort of interesting movement and level unlocking possibilities with the bike. And I don't know, I thought it looked cool, to be honest. But that was the main one for me.
And it got a release date, didn't it?
Yeah, December 4th, I think, something like that. So yeah, I hope it runs okay on Switch 1 is the only thing.
I'm sure it will. But they've been making it.
The big news, though. Can we just bring up the news that everybody was talking about? The fact that the Virtual Boy is now going to be playable on the cloud. I'm so happy. That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen, and I'm so happy that Nintendo thought it was a good idea. It's like, you idiots.
Have you ever played an actual Virtual Boy, Steve?
No. I know anyone
put one on at a games convention one time or something. Maybe I'm misremembering it, but it's notoriously bad anyway. But yeah, I have a vague memory of doing that.
They what I love about this as well is that's a bad idea already, but then they followed it up with the fact that you also need an extra peripheral to play these games, so you have to pay more money. It's like, what are you doing? Nintendo, are you okay? Seriously. Oh, I love that. That just made me so happy. But I was the same as you, Michael. Nothing really lit a fire under me. There was some stuff that I was like, oh, cool. Pretty much the remake news, and there's quite a few of them this time that I was like, oh, cool. There's a remake of Fatal Frame 2 or Project Zero 2, depending on what you've... Which actually kind of annoyed me a bit, because they always focus on that one, and I'm waiting for them to re-release the third one, because that's the one I've never played, and it's really hard to get your hands on now. So that annoyed me a little bit. And
what did you think about
the Dragon Quest?
Oh, sorry, go on.
Just there's a Dragon Quest game that apparently is really good. And I'm like, they're also remaking that. I was like, oh yeah, I'll probably give that a go. But that's pretty much all I had to say about that.
I was just going to say there was a bit of controversy about Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. Did you see that?
No.
They're re-releasing them. I don't know if it's like a HD thing or something, but they're re-releasing them as a double pack for Switch 2, and it's like 80 quid.
God.
And people were like, what the hell?
Oh, wow.
Like, for games that have already been released, like,
Well, it's classic
separate.
Nintendo. Didn't they do the same with Sunshine and 64 as well?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, yeah.
But it wasn't that
Well,
expensive.
that's the thing. Like that game, the Mario 3D All Stars, that was 64, Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy together.
Oh,
So I think
yeah.
that might be rubbing people up the wrong way as well. So yeah, I don't know.
They are good games. Galaxy are great games. The 2 Galaxy games, but
They are, yeah,
it
they
is
are
a bit
good.
ridiculous at this point to charge that. But Nintendo can do it.
I
You
know,
know, people
yeah.
will buy that shit. So I wonder what upgrades those versions will have, if any. Really,
That's it. I don't really know
Yeah.
if they're doing much to them, you know.
Mm.
But yeah. And then Resident
Yeah.
Evil Requiem got a new trailer at the event that's coming to Switch, along with 7 and 8 as well.
Eight.
They're
Yeah.
all coming natively to Switch too, so that's cool.
Mm.
yeah. Well, we
Um,
talked about Requiem before,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's sort of like hard to know much from the trailers so far. But
I'm fucking ready to play it, man. It looks sick.
yeah, it does look scary. I will not be playing.
play 7,
like-
man, and see what you
No,
think.
7's
Yeah.
the scariest
Yeah.
one. Like,
Yeah. There's
True, yeah.
just very brief, just before we move on too fast, but like I was quite intrigued by the fact that the new Mario movie is also going to be the Mario
yeah.
Galaxy movie.
I never
Which,
saw the
that-
first one. Is it good?
It's fine. It's like it's not a bad movie. Like it's a perfectly fine movie. Like you'll watch it, it's a popcorn movie, you'll enjoy it, you'll come out of it and be like,
Yeah.
yeah, that was grand.
Fair.
There's nothing about it that blew me away. But yeah, I liked it well enough.
Sean's
Yeah, I
just
don't know
blowing
if
his
there's anything
nose,
else.
everybody, just in case you can hear that.
I muted my mic.
I didn't
hopefully.
hear that, so
Oh,
but
did
now
you?
everyone
Okay.
knows.
Well, I just like to give people a peek behind the curtain, so to speak. So I guess in other news, there's been, the CEO of Gearbox has been very normal online,
Oh yeah.
as he always is. So, correct me if I'm wrong, Steve, but the story on this is there's been a lot of performance issues with Borderlands 4.
Yeah,
And
he's basically been saying like, if you don't like it, don't buy our game. Like he's just like having a hissy fit every time people complain about it.
I think he literally said, "Why don't you code an engine and tell me what it's
Yeah.
like?" Which is like going to a restaurant and saying, "Oh, I can cook at home."
Yeah,
like,
I saw as
yeah.
well. He told people to like refund the game on Steam and stuff. Like if they don't like it.
Really coming out because a part of me understands, because when a game launches, there's going to be performance issues a lot of the time. Like I think we're all like anyone who's paid any attention to games in the last 10 years accepts that that's maybe
It's
going
just
to
the way
happen.
it is now. Yeah.
And
Mm.
but the response has been very sarcastic, to say the least, and like talking shit about people with like low spec PCs and stuff like that. He's just an asshole. Like everything I've heard
Yeah.
about him points to that. Really,
I think I'm sure because there's like the general audience don't really appreciate how much work goes into making a game. Do you know, when it comes down to it, especially like a huge AAA game and the amount of people involved. But I imagine most games that get backlash like that from performance issues, developers, I'm sure they're disappointed, but they just show your trap, because it's just not good for PR really. Like if you come out and like basically lambast the fans, like,
just apologize and say we're going to work on a patch. Please bear with us. Like, that's all you
Exactly, yeah.
need. Like, and I understand people's frustration in some ways because you're paying for a product, you want it to work.
Yeah.
But games are like a very fluid medium as well. So like it will get better. Like Cyberpunk works now. So that's the example people pitch a lot of the time.
Yeah, well that was a huge mess.
It was an absolute car crash when it
Yes.
came out. That you can't deny that. And I don't want to be defending that, but
There's two sides to it, yeah.
But he is just like, he can't help himself sometimes. I think, like he said, when he was mocking people's low spec PCs, he says, I wouldn't put a leaf blower in a Ferrari and expect it to go the same as if you had the engine in or something like that. I can't remember.
What?
Yeah. As in, he was saying, like, if you have a shit PC, you're not going to run our Ferrari of the game or whatever he was saying. But yeah, I don't know. I'm so surprised he's where he is, really, like at the head of this big company, you know?
Yeah.
Well, they don't get media training, you see, and that's the thing, because everybody is in the spotlight now. They do everything, and like developers, like they have no sense whatsoever of like how to be in the public spotlight. You know, they're very much all about, you know, working on projects behind computers. I know that's kind of painting things with a general brush, broad strokes, but you know, a lot of the time I'd say it's true.
And I guess our final topic, unless we have anything else.
I think we got two more because Steve has some special.
Steve, do you want to throw in your special one now? What do you think?
Yeah, sure. Well, it's probably a good thing now because it's a little bit sad. Sean, if you could just throw up the I sent you a video there now. So you guys are familiar with the Louvre, aren't you?
The museum?
Yeah,
the museum in Paris.
I've been there. Yeah.
Big triangle. Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah. Well, sadly, this month the 3DS Guide to the Louvre is being retired this month.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, you will no longer be able to listen to your 3DS and be guided around the Louvre in different languages.
Stop killing games, okay? What if we want to set up our own server and have a guide?
This is the first time I've ever heard about this, but that is so cool.
It is
actually.
Sick, yeah. Like, give a little map and everything. That's sick.
Like imagine, when, like I don't know when that came out, but like I imagine like
in the 70s,
2000.
I imagine going on like a school trip to the Louvre or something, and all the kids have their 3DSs, and they're like, "Yeah, I don't need your fucking headphones. I've got the map right here."
I wonder if you can like access another game on it, play Golden Sun instead of fucking Donatello.
Oh, lads, we're going to be demonetized. There was a Willy on screen there.
Oh well, you know,
there's a Marvel Willy.
I mean, it was David's, but like, you know, whatever. But yeah, so basically, so the way it was, you could bring your own 3DS or you could rent them out at the museum. Yeah, you could rent out a 3DS.
I'm sure a bunch of them went missing.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is probably why they're retiring it now. They're kind of like, we need more. I think now it's just being turned into an app or something. But
a Switch 2, fucking here you are, kids. Sorry, I don't know.
Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Have some respect, Sean, please. You know, we're in mourning here.
I have to carry around a fucking PS5 with me to watch this fucking statue.
Oh.
Yeah. So so moment of silence for our brother in arms who's fallen now, the 3DS.
That is sad.
So I wonder though, if you have the app still installed, could you would it still work?
Yeah, maybe it just doesn't get updated anymore, is the only thing.
It's not going to be like PT on a PS4 now. You're not going to be able to sell it for like
eBay.
A couple of grand or anything like that. But or maybe you will. Who knows? Maybe it'll become a lost piece of media that'll be worth more. Who knows?
Like in a way, it was so sick because you had a dual screen, so you could have the information on one screen and then a map on the other, and like probably a stylus that you could move it around as well. So in terms of functionality, like I don't think a phone app is going to be any better, really.
And we should start a petition, lads.
Yeah. Did they? Sorry, one last question. Did they do that for any other museums, or was it literally just the Louvre?
I think it was just the Louvre, but I'm not sure. I personally never took advantage of it, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Damn, I wish I had known that when I went. Could have got a free 3DS.
Yeah, I think I did see them there when I was there. This was like 5 years ago or something like that, but no, longer than that actually. But yeah, that is sad. I don't know if there's any other crossover with games being used. I do know that back in the day, the US government hooked up a fuckload of PS2s together to try to make a supercomputer.
Yeah, I remember that.
But to what end, I don't know. I think they just give those fuckers a mad budget in the military over there and just like fuck around.
Let's
and
just
see
buy
what
a load of
happens.
PS2s.
Yes. Make a big LAN party playing SOCOM. This is like what we do outside. It's like Sean with his bicycle game.
Yeah, exactly.
With the wheel of feet.
The last game Or sorry, the last thing we're going to talk about is next week Tokyo Game Show is happening, where there will be a bunch of showcases. I think there's actually one thing I meant to mention beforehand. I think there's a state of play happening soon as well. That's
There's
not
rumors of
not
that.
related to Tokyo
Yeah.
Game Show, but it's going to be around the same time.
I think they normally do one in September, so people are saying maybe next week for state of play, which would be sick.
Fairly soon, all right, yeah.
In terms of what I'd love to see come out of it, like I don't know historically if there's been like big reveals or anything, but Okami 2 is one that's bubbling away, so I don't know, maybe that's really early in development and probably won't, but it would be cool to see something of the last part of the remake, Final Fantasy VII remake as well.
Yeah, that could be,
because that's that's bubbling away as well. But I don't know, like in terms of release date for the remake, I have no idea. I'd say 2028 maybe, but maybe I don't know, 27. I don't know what do you think, Steve?
It's hard to say. The thing is, like, yeah, they don't really show a lot of stuff at these things. Like, it's usually just stuff that is everybody knows about already. And, you know, this is where we're at with this kind of thing. The only thing that I know has, the only company I know that has like a big showcase of sorts is Capcom. They have some kind of special program going on there. So they might have something to reveal. I kind of suspect that'll be something to do with Monster Hunter, though.
Maybe more Resident
They have a
Evil
new...
stuff as well.
Yeah, they might do that. Like, but if they're going to reveal anything, like, you know, I suspect it'll be. Although, what was that? Is it Pragmata? That's Capcom, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, yeah,
might
there
get
might be more of
gameplay,
that.
and Onimusha is coming as well. So
yeah. So you know, there might be some stuff from them. You never know. I know Xbox have something going on there as well. So, which doesn't mean much to me, but Sean, you might find some stuff there that you like. Who knows?
Yeah, I think since last year, or maybe even the year before, they've had like. They've been kind of increasing their presence at Tokyo Game Show because they historically have really poor sales in Japan. And also a lot of Japanese developers kind of bypass the Xbox, but they're trying to change that. So I know like last year when they were there, that was when they revealed like the Final Fantasy pixel remasters and stuff all came to Xbox and Trials of Mana and stuff. I think it's heavily rumored that this year they're going to announce the new Forza Horizon game because it's also heavily rumored that it's set in Japan.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, so I think like we're better to kind of show it off. And I imagine they'll probably announce more ports for PlayStation as well. Like I think Flight Simulator is rumored and Starfield as well will be coming over. So who knows? They might reveal them there. But
and Halo.
I do know they will be showing. They're showing off a bit more of Neo 3, and I haven't played the second game yet, but I love the first game, the first Neo game. That was amazing. So I want to have a look at that now, because now that they have so many games like this out and about, like they have like, you know, Sekiro, and they have what was that one? Oh god, there's been so many games like this out now. So I'd just be interested to see how they're going to differentiate themselves with this game. But,
you're thinking of Wukong, is it? Or
no, there's a
Wu-Chang? One of those?
There's a game, it's like Way of the Genji or something like that. Like it's one of those like kind of generic titles that's kind of hard to remember. Like
there's so many of them now. And actually that brings up FromSoft have 2 multiplayer games. The Blood, there's a Blood one, isn't there?
Oh
the
yeah,
Switch.
the Switch exclusive one,
Rise of the Ronin, that was the game I was thinking
Rise
of.
of the Ronin,
yeah, but like they've got that, they've got Assassin's Creed Shadows, which, you know, that's its own thing. But like they've got all these like samurai based games, so like I really want to see like how they're going to do things differently. Like, you know, why is it worth having a third Neo game? Is kind of like the intrigue for me. But we'll see.
Why has there never been a Souls-like set in Tipperary?
That's what we need.
That's sort of like it's a money making machine just waiting for somebody to capitalize on it.
So you haven't played Armored Core 4 then?
All bits of like Fiat Puntos and shit. The door's a different color and all, but it gets good mileage. Yeah.
This is but yeah, I think unless you guys have anything else to add to that, I think we did it. I think we're done.
That's it, guys.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, for the next podcast, I guess we can kind of chat about
Silksong. Yeah,
Silksong again. Obviously,
more Silksong.
Whatever.
All the Silksong.
There'll probably be a bunch of new announcements from Tokyo Game Show we can talk about, as well as the rumored state of play whenever that happens.
And whatever memes happen.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever memes.
Our meme corner.
It's all about the memes. Yeah. But I know I'm going to probably be playing some Silent Hill 2, having finally picked it up today.
Oh, sick.
So
Yeah.
Cool.
Can't wait to hear about that.
For spooky season, makes sense to do that for October. But yeah, once again, just want to very, very quickly plug GG Game Tracker, Stephen Hill 777, in case anyone's interested in reviews, and the Cardboard Box Item, in case anyone wants to hear some of Michael's reviews as well. And if you want to hear Sean's reviews, tune into the podcast. Like, subscribe, follow, all that stuff.
Cool.
I guess that's it for us today. And who wants to do a big sign off? Does anyone want to have a catchphrase at the end of our podcast?
Michael's gearing up.
Oh, I got one. If it's a box and it's cardboard, the Cardboard Box Item are going to be all over that mother bitch.
And with that, we'll see you in the next one. Good luck.
Can't top that. That's brilliant. Good luck, guys. See you.